A very big hello to a place where we've done very well, Sioux Falls. Thank you very much, Sioux Falls, and thank you. So Sioux City.
I mean, come to accept this from Donald Trump. He has a sort of a really flip relationship with the truth and facts.
All right, let me paint you a wee picture here. Imagine an alternate world, not necessarily a better world, as Fox News still remains part of it, but anyway, imagine President Joe Biden was at a rally in Iowa where he got on stage stumbling and mumbling and he said the wrong city. Now, not just the wrong city, but a city in a different state to said crowd, causing them to boo. Before someone had to get on stage and apparently whisper in his ear, wrong city, mate.
Thank you very much, Sioux Falls. And let me ask you, how many people come from Sioux City?
So just imagine it in this alternate world, the Fox News coverage of that mistake. I mean, how many segments do you reckon they'd spend on it? 10 suit worth of outrage? I mean, surely. But yet, nothing. Crickets. Not to worry, we'll come back to reality and shift over to MSNBC's Morning Joe, where host Mika Brzezinski stated the obvious. In that alternate reality where if Joe Biden did this, they'd round up the doctors. They're going full scalpel mode on what they'd probably label a dire cognitive decline.
3, and we will prevent it. I know all the players. I know the players. I know the good ones, the bad ones, the weak ones. You know, there's a very powerful player, Viktor Orban. Did anybody ever hear of Viktor Orban? He's the head of Hungary. Hungary fronts on both Ukraine and Russia.
Oh, my God.
No, but the conversation about Viktor Orban, what worries me, besides that he gets the things wrong, that is his model for American illiberal democracy. That if he were to come back, that is the person he would fashion himself after. And that ought to give people pause.
And a lot of people in the audience, no pause. No pause. Trump also had some problems with U.S. geography as well. During that same speech, he appeared to forget which state he was in, saying he was in Sioux Falls, which is located in South Dakota, while he was actually speaking from Sioux City. I mean, Catty K, we've come to accept this from Donald Trump. He has a sort of a really flip relationship with the truth and facts. And I'm just speaking a fact. I'm not trying to be, I'll be accused of being nasty, but that's just the truth. If this was Joe Biden, what networks would be on a loop right now, playing it and then talking about perhaps having then a doctor on about his mental acuity? There is such a disconnect in reality here. In terms of the two front runners for president.
Look, so we have two candidates running for president who are likely to be the nominees of both the parties, who are older than most Americans are comfortable with. Joe Biden gets an awful lot of attention for his age and a lot of scrutiny, and it's clearly damaging him in the polls, which is why he now has a primary challenger, which he probably wouldn't do if it weren't for the age question, and it's a real concern. Donald Trump over the last month or so has shown that he too is a man who is nearing 80, and maybe that is his age that is coming into play. At the moment, it doesn't seem to be impacting him with his supporters, but age has a way of, we've seen this, Mika, you and me, with our parents, right? That it catches up on them. And let's see how the stress of a campaign, the stress of multiple very intense legal suits against him, affects his health and his mental acuity and his stamina over the course of the next year. I think just because it's not having an impact on him in the polls at the moment doesn't mean that it won't do in a year. We'll be a year out, a year more of trials, and a year more, frankly, of age. And at that age, that makes a difference.
And here's the thing. It is a serious matter that nobody seems to be fussed about. It's simply an onslaught of errors when Trump steps on the stage.
Colleges and universities will purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing, the terrorism, had a lot of the horrible things. The world is exploding. If you take a look, I mean, the whole world is exploding. I was very honored as a man, Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world, and he's the leader of right? He's the leader of Turkey, fronts on both Russia, brought our country to a new level. But that allows, think of this, that allows us to do it to Biden when he gets out, and that would be very easy.
And I'm all for discussions about term limits, age limits, spending limits, but there has to be equal coverage. Not following Biden's bike trail, hoping that he hits a curb and falls so we can run allegations of dementia, while Trump is out here literally confusing Obama as the current president.
Brian, it's all coming through Iran, and Obama he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to he doesn't even mention them in his statements. It's all coming through Iran.
Well, you mean President Biden. So,
Jeb Bush is responsible for Iraq.
You know what? He was a military. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb, remember Jeb?
And calling the Prime Minister of Hungary the leader of Turkey. Come on, folks. Are we serious here? Are we just going to pretend the coverage is fair on the matter of one's health, mental and physical capabilities? Because it's clearly not.
To the lack of access, this guy is a walking stand-in, and he can't even stand. And he's about this close to falling down again. And that's how scared they are.
And he talks to a dog, and he talks about the fact that he almost lost a cat. Are you kidding me? He almost lost a cat. Jill and I know what it's like to lose. This guy has been lying from the moment he came on the political scene.
I mean, I guess all we need is the odd video of Trump cheating at golf, and it means he's in prime presidential shape. I mean, get real. If one candidate is to be scrutinized for their capabilities for president, it's not the fellow who's staying up all hours, taking calls to the point that Fox News can't even hide behind their lies.
Yeah, we certainly do. And I do want to mention, Griff, that the president has been anything but off the grid while here in Delaware. And of that call with the prime minister, the White House said that President Biden expressed how welcome he is that these first two convoys of aid were able to make it into Gaza. They also said that the president of the leaders, quote, affirmed that there will now be continued flow of this critical assistance into Gaza. The president expressed appreciation for Israel's support in helping to accommodate the release of 2 American hostages. So the president also spoke with his national security team this morning, Pope Francis as well, plus the leaders of Germany, France, Italy, the UK, and Canada too. So the president's line here in Delaware, again, was very busy today. Even on that breezy beach walk we were just talking about, the president was on his cell phone during a portion of that.
It's the quad-dieted, thrice-married Obama lives rent-free in my head, so I think I'm running against him, even though he never ran against him in the first place.
Because he's got a boss. Who's his boss? Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama.
You have all these arguments about Joe Biden and his age. Please take a look at him over the past 2 days. And you mentioned Taiwan, you mentioned Ukraine, you mentioned the situation in Israel and the Middle East. Now, Joe Biden is basically managing a conflict and an entire world order. And he's doing it with clarity and with context and with a sense of humanity.
Yeah, you stack up any policy press conference that Donald Trump had. Any.
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.